What's up, everybody? My name is Darth Cheswick, and today we are working on Simsie's puzzle show. So, the first thing I did was started placing all of these pieces together in a way that somewhat fit. Um, it was kind of difficult. It took me a little while to figure out like a floor plan because I didn't want to delete any of the interior walls. It said in the rules that we could. I was just trying to make it a little bit more challenging for myself, so I didn't want to delete any interior walls. And it actually came together like pretty well, I think. We've got like a big living room here. We've got a space for a kitchen and a dining room already downstairs, and then a place for the parents' bedroom upstairs, as well as like the basement. I'm going to make the basement with this long hallway here because I want to avoid it and I want to just put stairs in it because that's the only thing that I knew that could go there. So I'm getting those in here now, and then I'm taking this big like diagonal room and just kind of putting it over there, and a little this little like weird bump out room too. This like 3x2 with like a little two tile bump out. Put that down there, and then originally I was gonna have like the curved room or the like it's like almost a triangle, but it's not. I was gonna put that in the basement as well, and then I decided to make it into a treehouse. And the way you do that is that you place a room underneath of your room, I guess, and delete the bottom room, and then you can kind of like raise and lower the room that's floating to wherever height you need it to be. You guys already know I had to use my favorite Dream Home Decorator doors because it's a Simsy show. We have to use all of our favorite stuff. At least that's what I was telling myself. I grabbed these big arches to put in the dining room and the kitchen. Well, the smaller one is for the kitchen, but I was thinking about having like three arches, but it just looked kind of awkward. I feel like your Sims would have gotten confused and just like walked around and around and around in circles. So I just put the two. And then I got a bunch of lights everywhere because I can't see. And then I started working on the parents' bedroom. I was originally going to start working from like the top down on this build, like by doing the exterior first, but I literally could not decide what I wanted the exterior wallpaper to be, and I took a long time to figure out how to roof this build because it's just such a weird shape. That's my fault, but it was just difficult for me to roof. So I'm just getting in a shower caddy and the plunger because we have to have a plunger. I usually grab a debug one, but the little set from the new bathroom clutter kit is so cool. So I've been putting that in a lot of my builds. And then I grabbed a bunch of clutter and put it on the counters, and a matching get-together hand towel with the Zenith base game towel, and I had to cheat for money because I was running out. And I was not about to try and furnish this house on like $3,000. That was just impossible. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but it wasn't for me. Grabbed a little nightlight, put that by the mirror, and then I finished off the bathroom with some growing together tiles and the base game tiles for the floor. And then I started working on the kids' room. It's a girl, so I wanted it to be kind of bright and pink at first, and then I ended up making everything kind of purple in the end because the pink was just a little too much for me. I've been doing a lot of pink rooms for girls, so I just wanted to get a little bit different, so I did purple. And then I grabbed a bunch of toys and things like that because we need a lot of toys for the girls' room. I wanted it to almost be like she was like spoiled because she's like an only child. And then I rearranged the room to make everything fit better, so I could put a few more clutter items in here. I added a desk because we always need a desk for them to do their homework at. And then I grabbed a few of these little decorations that look like they were made by kids, put them above the little craft table, and added some of these little string lights with the pictures on them. Maybe they're all her friends. I don't know. I don't know who these Sims are. And then I grabbed a little giraffe. I put him in the corner. I thought he looked really cute, and he kind of matches with everything that's in the room with the rainbow colors that he has. I was gonna have like that little robot in the room too, but then I sized down this little plush and kind of put it like by her pillow. I wanted it to seem like maybe she tucked her little bear in with her while she was sleeping, and they can still sleep in there. It's still functional. Now we have the string lights in here, and I was just trying to find a few last minute decorations. I wanted to have that little like cardboard rocket ship, but then it was just too big. I put a little backpack and a lunchbox under the desk, but then it ended up making the desk and the bed not functional, so I ended up moving them. I cut that part out though. And I also grabbed a light switch. We can't forget the light switches now. We've got light switches, so we have to put them in every single build. And now we're working on the kids' bathroom. I put a shower from Snowy Escape here in the corner, as well as a growing together sink and just a base game toilet. I grabbed a bunch of toilet paper and some clutter. I wanted it to seem like, she was maybe obsessed with the llamacorn or unicorn character from the Void Critters, and that's when I decided I wanted to change the decoration in the bedroom from the pink orange to purple. And now we're working on the book nook. I wanted to use these little bump outs for bookshelves, so I put some of those in from the new kit and kind of placed them so it maybe looked like they were different. Maybe one has books higher up, the other one doesn't. And then I add a couple chairs in here, as well as the couch from the new kit and the wallpaper. I think it all looks really good together. And it really ties this house together. I ended up changing the flooring from this gray to the a yellowish tone to kind of match everything that's in this room. And then I grabbed that little purse from the pastel pop kit, put it in the kids' bedroom because I saw it and I never really use it, so I wanted to in this build. And I couldn't forget this little stack of books here that acts as a shelf. And then I also added the new lamp from that kit, a little mug here, just, if had brought a coffee in here and then they just kind of forgot about it. So grabbed a couple magazines and then I started working on the living room. This was a little bit of a struggle. I really wanted to have something over there in the corner, maybe an ottoman or something like that, and then I just decided that's where I was going to put the TV after I get this arranged in a way that makes sense. It took me a while to figure out how I was going to arrange this living room because it's it's big, it's a big shape, but it's also small at the same time once you start putting stuff in it. So I grabbed these, the small little round table is from high school years and the coffee table is from Get Famous. I also wanted it to make it seem like this was an older house. They still have a bunch of older electronics and things in here. Maybe some new appliances though, because I wanted it to seem like they were maybe updating it room by room. They started in the kitchen. And then I just started filling in the space with clutter. That little plant there is from Snowy Escape, some base game books, and the tissues. We cannot forget the tissues. I, for one, constantly have a runny nose. I have allergies, so it's just never ending. I always have tissues everywhere. Literally, I have a box of tissues in every room. My bedroom, the bathroom, the living room. There's tissues everywhere in my house. And now I'm just working on the kitchen. So I kind of wanted to have the refrigerator here in this little bump out. Put the fire alarm right above the fridge like I always do. And I wanted to use the Dream Home Decorator stove and stovetop because I usually don't use the separate pieces, so I thought this would be a good build to do that. We've got kind of a smaller kitchen. Everything is still functional though, even with the cabinets above the stove and stovetop. I also added a little drink tray. Your Sims can actually go over there and fill it up and serve drinks when they have people over, parties or whatever. The welcome wagon shows up, you need some drinks for everybody, there you go. And then I started working on the dining room. So I really like this growing together table. It fits pretty much every space. It's got a ton of swatches, which is actually really good for EA. They usually have 2 or 3 swatches for a table, and it's okay, and it doesn't really match with any of the wood, but I actually think this one looks really good in this space. So I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to do these chairs, and they actually have a really good swatch from high school years that matches the table and kind of everything else. So I used that, and they also kind of remind me of my dad's house, which is kind of an older house, and he used to have chairs like this. So I put those in the dining room as well as a couple rugs from Tiny Living and some curtains from the Parenthood pack. They were the only curtains that really I liked in here. They kind of match every color. There's like, they're two-toned, so they're like the gray and like the tan, and they really, really matched like the rug and everything else that's in here. And then I started working on the basement. I wanted to have like a little laundry here, somewhere to hide the vacuum. I got one of the older looking vacuums that has like the bag. I used to have one of these when I was like a little kid. My grandparents used to have one, and I just remember like vacuuming their living room one time because I wanted to see what it looked like, and the bag like exploded and got dust all over me, so that was not fun. And then I used a wood flooring from, I want to say Get Famous. It's kind of like dusty and crusty looking, and I think it looks really great in this basement. And I also got the City Living tile that's kind of like messed up and like there's cracks and things in it for the laundry room. So I used a ton of the basement clutter kit. I love that kit. Everything is so disgusting and perfect. I love it. And then I added a little decoration box to the corner there, and I put a little space heater from Snowy Escape down here also. I feel like that would be something you would have in a basement. I know I would. I'm a cold girl, so I love heaters and blankets and cozy stuff. I also put like an older computer in here, as well as a trans pride flag because the owner of this house is trans. Their name is the Drummond family, if you want to look at them on my gallery. There's Clay, Isaac, and Sadie, their daughter. I just really wanted to add that little piece of gameplay because they do have top surgery scars. Clay does. I also added a guitar to the corner and the rubber plant, as well as a little older light switch. It's like brown. And then I put a bunch of like decals on the wall that made it look kind of dirtier. Like the brick is exposed in a couple of spots. There's like somebody punched the wall or they just like hit it really hard with the chair. And then there's like dirty fingerprints behind the couch. And then I added a bunch of these like gnomes and the little pig statue in the hallway because I thought that was cute. You know, maybe they inherited the house from one of their parents and they just like had these in the basement. I used a bed from Growing Together, and then I was trying to figure out how to like do these windows to where they didn't look weird because I kind of have one of the windows in the bathroom just because it centers it on the outside of the house, but it kind of like creates a weird shadow, so I put a longer curtain in the bathroom from, I want to say, Luxury Party Kit, and then I added these smaller ones from My First Pet Stuff. I've been using these like Parenthood side tables a lot, and some nifty knitting like rugs and things. So I put the nifty knitting like stack of rugs here in the corner, or in the, not in the corner, underneath the bed. I feel like that looks super cozy, and it also matches with like the red on the bed, so it looked nice. And then I got these like bowling hangout lamps. They're kind of funky looking, and I really enjoy them. They also like match with the orange on the rugs pretty well. And then I took these panelings from Eco Lifestyle and fit them behind the bed to create like a custom headboard. So I wanted to have like a little hangout up here on the roof because I could not roof this like and make it look good. So I just said screw it and put this little hangout up here. You can't really see them right now in the build, but I used like a couple of flower pots and like some flowers from the outside and just kind of put them in there, sized them down a little bit, and they fit perfectly. And now I'm starting on the treehouse. This was like the really fun part of the build. I had so much fun. I always wanted a treehouse when I was little. I didn't have one, so I just really went like all out on this. I used these trees from Granite Falls. Then I started adding a little platform here so that your Sims could actually walk around on this, and you can like slot a bunch of things to it so you can have some activities to do up here. You can even have sleepovers in here. I added some sleeping bags. I wanted it to feel really handmade, so I used these cottage living fences and the posts from Werewolf Years, the Werewolf Pack, and the windows as well. The wallpaper is from Island Living, I think. And then I started just grabbing a bunch of like toys to put in here. I grabbed a door from Cottage Living also. I also made it look like it was kind of like hanging open, like maybe the kid had left it open. I put like a archway in there instead. And you do that by kind of like drawing a wall wherever you want the door to be hanging open at, and then delete the wall. I had to do it a couple of times because I got the door handle on the wrong side, so that's kind of what you're seeing there. Then I use these outdoor retreat lanterns to kind of put inside of the posts to make it seem like the post was actually holding the lantern instead of. Now I'm just getting in some rugs and pillowcases for the kids in here. Wanted to make it seem like they had brought like their own pillows, so I just kind of tucked them in there, and I even slotted one like right over the sleeping bag so that your Sims can, have like an actual pillow. Then I started working on the backyard space. I wanted to have a swing underneath of the tree set because I thought it looked kind of built in, and I really love the idea. It's still functional, your Sims can still swing on it. And the sand that I'm using here is actually from Island Living, so your Sims can build sand castles in it. I love that feature. I think it's so cool. I wish they would do something like that in base game. I feel like that's such a basic thing that your Sims should be able to do. And now I'm just working on the garage. I took a couple of the smaller shells from the inside and put them outside. And at first I was going to have this like whole building be the garage, and then I decided not to, so I turned half of it into a greenhouse. I turned this like bigger portion of it into the greenhouse. It's a little lopsided, like the proportions of this room look weird, but again, I didn't want to delete any of the interior walls. I know that it was part of the rules that you could delete interior walls, but that was just not my style for that day. I wanted to make it as challenging as possible for myself. At first I had these eco-lifestyle wall planters in there, and then I ended up switching them out with just a couple of like clutter items so I could put a bunch of things on there, and then I put a couple of them like on the other side of the build. I was really struggling with like the floor plan of this because I wanted your Sims to be able to like walk around the flower table. I really wanted that to be like the center focal point of the room. So I put a couple of these shelves over here in the corner and put a bunch of clutter on them. And I don't actually think I used the metal shelf there. I ended up like replacing it with this industrial loft planter. I really didn't do a whole lot with the landscaping. I kind of did most of it underneath of the play area, and I put a bunch of like low-lying pale flowers everywhere. Nothing too intense. And then I created this little like backyard area with a little fireplace and a barbecue, the little science table for kids, a bike, and the trash can all fit back there. And then like I said, the landscaping in the front of the house is very simple, just kind of a few trees, and then some low-lying pale flowers out front in the garden. And now we are on to the playtesting portion of the video. This is the Drummond family, Isaac, Clay, and Sadie. Isaac is in the brown, and Clay is in the blue here. I'm just trying to get everything turned on, the light the fireplace, have the fan going so that it can move some of the hot air around in the house because it is kind of cold. It's spring in my game now, so they're kind of chilly. And I really like this house. I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments below. Then I had them come and sit out here on the barbecue. Isaac almost caught on fire. Thankfully, Clay was right there to help out if needed. And then they had a really nice little time out there. I think it's a really great house. You can see Sadie is using the little swing here. It's not interfering with anything. I don't even think it actually touches the bottom of the house, the tree house. I had Isaac come and plant a bunch of trees kind of everywhere. I wanted this one to be like in the grass, but I guess that's just not possible. And then I had them plant everything that is in the greenhouse also. So it's already planted for you all, you don't have to do that. Clay enjoys cooking, so I'm having them test the kitchen. He's going to use this little counter right here next to the fridge, and then move over to the stove or the oven. I can't remember what I had him make. But everything seems to be functional and perfect. Now they're in the basement testing out the old TV, making sure that works. The heater works just fine. They can still reach it. I don't even think they need to touch it, really. I think that's just like a little remote that they hit. But the basement looks really cool. I love that little TV. I like the detail in having it be kind of like fuzzy looking on the screen. And this is where I said I had to rearrange the bedroom because the backpack under the desk made the bed not functional. I'm not really sure how that works. But she's up there now. She's going to sleep. She's cuddling with her little bear figure, and she's got her matching bathroom, and Isaac is just reading a little book here in the nook. I wanted to make sure that was functional because it is pretty tight in there. It's only like 2 tiles wide, and I have stuff in the way, so I was nervous about it not being functional. But I'm so glad you guys were watching. If you like this build, it is on my gallery at Darth_Jeswick, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.